Hello everyone. I usually don't do videos like this, but I figured I needed to because I know the majority of you are in Aruba following. You have followed me on YouTube and this journey because you are fans of Aruba or looking for more information on Aruba. So I thought it would be essential to make a video and address why you're not going to see videos in Aruba anymore, basically. So right now I am in Colombia. I've been in Colombia for over a week. I am in Bogota and my husband is at the US Embassy because he is finalizing his green card process today, and if all goes well, hopefully we will have his visa to go to the United States in a couple days. So we are moving. I am leaving Aruba. The thumbnail might be a little misleading. Yes, I'm leaving forever in a way. I'm not going to live there anymore, but of course I still will visit. We still have a condo there, family there. So there may still be some Aruba footage to come. Some of the new hotels that open up, I definitely want to get back and do some videos there, but for the most part we are leaving, so I wanted to get on here and talk about it a little bit. So I have some notes, so if you see me looking down, that's why, because I want to make sure to hit all of my points while still keeping it respectful to the locals, because I do have a lot of opinions and I probably won't get too deep into all of them. I know a lot of my friends, my Aruban local friends, know and feel the same way. It's maybe a bit more of the older generation that just doesn't get it, which I get. People are brought up different ways. You have different customs, different ideologies, and that is what makes this world so awesome, to go and see all these different places. But I guess, where do I start? I've been in Aruba for about 5 years now. December 2018, I wintered in Aruba and I essentially never left. I basically have lived there ever since. And I remember when I was so excited to be applying for my permit there, and all of my new, now local friends were saying to me, why do you want to live here? It's so boring. It's only a good place to vacation. And I was always like, oh my God, you guys are so lucky to live here. You're so blessed, blah, blah, blah. America sucks. Okay, maybe I didn't say America sucks, but you know, I think a lot of people, you always see these like memes floating around online, like pack up, leave America forever and go move to a Caribbean island. And it sounds so amazing, but until you truly live somewhere else and immerse yourself in that place full time, you're only going to think about it as being on vacation. So your 1 to 2 week vacation, even a 6 week vacation in a destination is so amazing. But once you really start to live there, that's when you see kind of what it's really like. It hasn't been until the last year and a half or so, I think, that I've been feeling kind of like I can't live here forever. I think it was a great place to ride out COVID. I mean, we were really strict at one point, but then while most of the world was still locked down, we were kind of free. It was of course a very difficult place, being almost predominantly tourist based, that none of us had a job. So that was a little crazy, but I'm grateful that I got to stay there through COVID. I think it was the best place to be at that time, but it probably hasn't been, like I said, for the last year and a half or so, and this is when my business has really taken off, that I've realized it's just a very inconvenient place to live, is probably the best way to describe it. You know, anytime I'm taking flights elsewhere, even if it's like an island 700 miles away, you have to like route through the US to get there, or anytime we go basically anywhere in Europe, or we went to Bali, we went to Qatar, all these different places, we need to like route through Holland and then stay overnight in Holland, or route through New York. And so it just, for my job, for those of you who don't know, I own a travel agency, and my career is becoming a lot more demanding now, where I need to travel a lot. It's 5 weeks into the year. I've been traveling 4 out of the 5 weeks into the year, and that's only going to continue basically through this year. And so I need to travel a lot. So living near an international airport with a lot of access to non-stop flights is essential to me at this point, because it's becoming even more exhausting and tiring with routing through places, because now I'm not just flying somewhere for 5 days and flying right back. I have to route through another place and then another place and then another place, and it makes like what would be, let's say, a 5-day trip into like a 7 or 8 day trip. So that's one piece of it. One thing I've realized for me is like convenience is just a necessity. I'm a very impatient person. You know, I grew up out of the New York area, and they say a New York minute, everything is super fast paced, and that's another thing that I've definitely had a hard time. I don't think I've ever adjusted to it, to be honest. I've learned how to adjust to the point where I'm not rude. For instance, when I first moved to Aruba, let's say you're parking somewhere, I would just say, "Hi, can I park over there?" You know, just like that, whatever. And I'll never forget, this one guy said to me, "Bon dia," and he like made me stop and say bon dia back. And I realized, oh, you have to greet people. You can't just start talking. Whereas in America, I feel like, at least around where I'm from, I think down south is a little different. We don't want to have that interaction of stop and chit chat. It's just like, hey, what do you need? What do you want? Let's go move on with our day. Here it's like, how are you? Good morning, blah, blah, blah. And that's been something I've grown accustomed to because, like I said, it's out of politeness, really. But in reality, it's just a very slow-paced place to live, which can be refreshing sometimes, because I'm not saying the way that a lot of us Americans do it is right. I think that we stress ourselves out, and it's embedded in me now. I am just a naturally stressed, quickly moving person, and I cannot undo that. That is 30 years I've grown up like that, you know? Because I work an American job and I have American clients, things still need to operate in an American way in my head and in my work. So for me to be living in a place that's so slow paced can be like counterintuitive. So that's been really difficult. Furthermore, just the things as simple as registering a car in America, or a lot of those government type agencies are really not run efficiently at all. And I think that's been the most frustrating part to me out of anything, because it's something like where they will make a mistake, and then if something is processed late, let's say, that results in like a late fee, you will be penalized because of their error and that they were late. And that's pretty much the best way to describe how absolutely everything operates in Aruba from a living standpoint. Obviously, from a tourist standpoint, it's usually pretty easy. You just go in, you enjoy your vacation, and you fly back out. But with living, it is not like that at all. You can call one place and get one answer from one person and a totally different answer from another person and a totally different answer from another person. Then you can be penalized based on an answer that you thought was correct, and there's no proof of it, and there's no rights for you when it comes to that type of stuff. And that, to me, has gotten me frustrated more times than I can tell you, to the point where I've actually become a bit resentful of the island, and that's why I know I needed to leave, because I no longer feel the way that I did 5 years ago, and I want to leave so that I can come back to the island and enjoy it and be grateful for it again. I mean, I am grateful for the 5 years that I have. I've made some incredible connections. Work has just automatically, I've been this Aruba specialist, right? Without even trying to be. I mean, I'm the #1 travel agent for Aruba that sends people to Aruba. I've definitely created a name for myself, and I've made these great connections with all these different hotels and managers and just people across the board on the island. And for that, I will forever be grateful, because I don't think my business would have grown the way it did if I hadn't been making these connections. So with that said, nothing changes as far as my business goes. I will forever maintain my connections in Aruba. I will still plan destination wedding groups and continue to do all of the things that I have done as far as that in Aruba. It's just that my physical location will be changed. More to come on kind of where we will be moving to and living. We do already know where we're going to move, and I think I will be taking this YouTube channel a little bit more vlog style. So obviously we're gonna continue to do our international travels. We're showing all of our stuff from our Colombia trip. We're heading to a bunch of different locations at the end of this month. So we're gonna continue to make this like a travel vlog style, but I'm also going to start doing a little bit more personal content. So life as an entrepreneur, you know, moving, our adjustment process to living, well, for me, back in the States, for Mike, moving to the States for the first time, and just kind of do it like that, because these informational type videos have been great in growing the channel, but ultimately I don't find as much joy in them. So I think I want to be a little bit more authentic and do the things kind of that I want to do with this channel. So feel free to keep following along. If you're not interested in that, if you're just here for Aruba content, feel free to not follow along anymore. I completely understand. We are moving somewhere very fast paced, very convenient. I'm excited. I'm ready for just having a streamlined, easy life that I can basically just worry about working and my travels and not have to worry about all the extra stuff. Just to name a few funny things that I miss from the States: Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Chipotle, the Starbucks app. Packages with free 2-day shipping. In Aruba, you have to order the package to another company, let's say in Miami, basically pay a double tax, double ship, takes 4 weeks to get there. So these are the things I mean about no convenience whatsoever. I miss the easiness of, this is a funny thing that a lot of people say, America has such unhealthy food, blah, 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 blah. There is almost nowhere in Aruba that you can get convenient, healthy fast food. You know, you can go into like Whole Foods and get like one of those like pre-packaged like healthy salad type meals and those type of things. The stuff I'm dealing with for 5 years in Aruba is going to 3 different grocery stores in 1 week, because each store only has certain brands or certain things in stock, and ultimately just dealing with whatever options you have that week. A lot of the fruits and vegetables, everything's imported. So you're paying more than you would for like organic food at Whole Foods for a lesser brand, lesser quality, going bad faster. I mean, Aruban grocery stores are extremely expensive, like extremely. And one of the things I've looked for in choosing the next place to live is somewhere that I can be around not only like-minded people who are go-getters and entrepreneurs and just successful business people in general, because I'm very big about being around the energy that you want to be like, but also people that are kind of doing a lot better than me. I felt very stagnant in Aruba, and I don't mean that to offend anyone. Again, I don't think that the way that we do it in America is necessarily the correct way. Like I said, I think we stress ourselves out and work ourselves up too much, and our whole mentality is work, 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 work. And I'm not saying that's the right way, but I'm saying that's the way I am, and that's the energy I need to be around. You know, that's me, and there's nothing against the people who just want to work there Monday through Friday and make their check and then just go and enjoy their weekend. But I need to be around more people who kind of feel the same way I do and enjoy that same energy, just not be the biggest fish in the sea. I want to be the small fish, and I want to have all these people to look up to and be inspired by. So that's another big change that I'm looking for. But I will leave that kind of here. Please mention in the comments, when did you start following me on YouTube? Are you a new follower? Have you been with me since the beginning when I was first posting my first video about living, like moving to Aruba? Because at the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier, I have a lot to be grateful for the island of Aruba. It's allowed me to essentially learn 2 new languages. It's allowed me to grow not only in my business but personally. Leaving your hometown is not easy by any means. And you know I'm gonna get a lot of comments, because I get these on Instagram, and to be honest, they annoy me to my core. People saying, you're nuts, I would live in Aruba forever, blah, blah, blah. All I have to say, then try it, then do it, and come back to me in 5 years. Because every other American friend I have on that island, minus possibly some older ones, because I will say I can see living there during retirement years more so than now, although healthcare is also an issue, which that's a whole other topic I can get into, because every other middle-aged American that I know personally that's been living there is ready to go too. And a lot of Arubans. And I think Arubans also see the kind of opportunity that they have. And a lot of them do move to the Netherlands. It's much easier for them to move to the Netherlands than to the US. And they dream of living in the States. And I now see why, and that's part of the growth I'm talking about, that I take living in the United States and being a born right American for absolute granted. And I've definitely learned not to take that for granted anymore. I'll leave that here. Feel free to follow along with me on my next journey in life. We're gonna be doing some awesome traveling. And yeah, thank you guys so much for following me along this Aruban journey. I apologize if I sound a little bitter. Right now I'm in between grateful for the 5 years and kind of ready to leave, as you can tell. So I don't mean this in a negative way, and I'm very grateful for everything Aruba has offered me in the last 5 years, but this butterfly is ready to spread her wings. So we will see you guys next time.